and Albuquerque being a hub for them. So we know they exist. There are different resources, different efforts, but it doesn't mean that they are participating, right? So that's a challenge, and that we face. And I talked to different groups of women, and they identify those challenges, especially in middle school, jumping to high school. So all
Mhm.
these resources are not being taken advantage of. So, what do you recommend, or what do you think it is a viable solution to have these girls, young women, and adult women to be more actively participant in these efforts?
Mhm. Yeah, well, like I said for myself, I didn't pursue computer science like as my declared major in undergrad. And I honestly didn't even really know that that was a pathway for me. And I have a parent that works at the national labs here in Albuquerque and is a mechanical engineer. My husband is now an electrical engineer. Like I've kind of grown up in these spaces very STEM adjacent and still never really saw myself participating in that way. And I do think that that to some extent just reflects society, that we don't focus on nurturing the sort of STEM, science, technology, engineering, math, and some people say STEAM, so the arts are included in that as well. Just this creative problem solving thought process in young girls. That's really not a focus, just kind of in our, gendered society. Those skills are tended to be much more cultivated in young boys. So I think that that is a really great place to start. And it is a little bit of a chicken and the egg situation in terms of mentorship, right? Because until we have more women in these roles and more diverse people more broadly in leadership positions in, science and engineering types of roles, until you can really see yourself in that as a kid, it's hard to even conceptualize that that's a feasible pathway for you. So I think step one would be to introduce kids at a young age to different opportunities and really try to invest wherever they show an aptitude and an interest. And I think specifically that middle school timeframe, like you mentioned, for young girls, thinking back on my own personal experience, I was good at, science and math, for example, as a young kid, and then was not particularly encouraged to go further in that direction. I was kind of more told literally or just like connotated, oh, you're good at languages, you should go into reading, English, communications. And so then I kind of internalized that and thought, okay, that's what I'm good at. That's the direction I should head in. And so I wonder, if I had kind of been more cultivated or encouraged in a specific way to pursue a different direction, how that maybe would have turned out for me. I think ultimately it all has worked out for me, maybe the way it was meant to. Um, but I do think that we have more work to do in encouraging that skill set with girls at a young age.
Definitely. And I believe that the audience of these interviews is mostly adult women. What would you be your call to action to them? Maybe they are not in a tech background, and maybe they think it doesn't make sense just jump right now, right, from one career to another. But the purpose of this is to invite them to take a look at it and feel interested. What would be your call to action?
Well, I think it's worth acknowledging that it's super scary to make a big like life pivot in that way and kind of jump off into the unknown. But I would encourage people to be courageous. I think that you have a lot to gain with the potential of working in a more technical role. In general, the salary benefits, remote friendliness of these types of opportunities can be immensely helpful to particularly women that tend in our society to bear more of the responsibility for caregiving, whether it's with children or elderly family members. Women tend to take on more of those responsibilities. And from my own personal experience, having more flexibility in my schedule has really helped me balance a lot of the commitments and priorities in my life in that way. I do think also that in terms of, I never really thought of myself as being a super, creative person. And I think that that is a misnomer for a lot of us, that we have creative, unique skill sets and very valuable, unique perspectives as well that are super important to include in the development of technology if we're going to be building tools that work and benefit society as a whole. So I would encourage people to remember that you bring something, very unique to the table. And I would encourage you to explore the options available to you and to go for it.
That is amazing, and I feel that's a great closure right there for this interview. Thank you so much for sharing all this with us, and I hope to see you soon in another interview.
Thank you
Thank
for the
you, Erin.
opportunity. Bye.
Well, there you have it. The tech space is cool, and you can do a lot in STEM. Thank you again for watching this video. And if this message resonates with you and you want someone else to learn from this, I invite you to share this video and also follow me on LinkedIn, Twitter, and Instagram for more updates. See you next time.